You know, it's wild how sometimes a single red carpet look can just explode into this massive cultural debate. And that's exactly what happened with actress Sydney Sweeney. One dress ignited this huge conversation about empowerment, objectification, and what it even means to be a woman in the public eye today. Okay, let's get into it.
So this really gets to the heart of it, right? Can one outfit, one single dress, be a symbol of personal power and at the exact same time contradict a message about being taken seriously? That's the core tension we're going to unpack here.
And look, this one comment that popped up online, it just perfectly nails the conflict. This is what set the stage for the whole debate that basically split everyone right down the middle. Okay, so to really get what's going on here, you gotta understand the context. Where did this all go down? Let's set the scene.
So, picture this. The event was Variety's Power of Women Gala. This is a big deal, a really prestigious night all about celebrating what women have achieved. And Sydney Sweeney was one of the honorees. Her choice for the evening? This incredibly bold, sheer, crystal-covered gown. So you have the seriousness of the occasion and the boldness of the outfit, and those two things are what really fueled this entire fire.
All right, so we've got this setting, but here's where things get really interesting. It's when you put that dress right next to the words she actually spoke that night. Let's look at her speech, because this is where the plot thickens.
See, when she got up on that stage, it wasn't just, a thank you for the award kind of thing. She was talking about real stuff, strength, struggle, perseverance. And she was drawing these parallels between her own career and her role playing the trailblazing boxer Christy Martin. She was really opening up here, talking about having to fight for her own identity in Hollywood. This line is all about pushing back against being put in a box, being judged before you've even had a chance to show people who you are. And then she hits them with this line, the one that gets right to the core of her message, the need to be taken seriously. And that specific phrase, well, it became the absolute lightning rod for the entire debate that followed. So you can imagine, right? Those powerful words demanding to be taken seriously are still hanging in the air, and boom, the public reaction to her dress starts pouring in. And for a lot of people, the contradiction was just impossible to ignore.
And yeah, people online were not shy about it. The criticism really centered on a few key points: that the dress completely distracted from her words, that it just felt wrong for an event focused on women's power, and that it seemed to play right into the objectification she's talked about fighting against.
But hold on, because that's just one side of the coin, right? Sweeney herself and a whole lot of her supporters, they had a totally different take on her choice, one that was all about personal empowerment. In her own words, she basically says, hey, this isn't for you, it's for me. She reframes the whole thing as an internal feeling and expression of her own confidence. For her, the key part is, I feel strong. And she doesn't just stop there. She actually turns her personal choice into this bigger message, a potential inspiration for others. The idea here is all about unapologetic confidence, encouraging women to just embrace their bodies and not feel like they have to say sorry for it. And she wasn't alone in feeling this way. You had other big names in Hollywood, like Sharon Stone, jumping in to back her up. Stone's argument was pretty much, hey, a woman should be free to use every part of herself, including being hot, as a source of her own power. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. We've got these two camps totally dug in with completely opposing views. What does this one moment, this one dress, really tell us about our culture right now?
And this is really the crux of the whole thing. It all boils down to two totally different definitions of what empowerment even means. On one side, the criticism says empowerment is being valued for your message over your body. But the defense says empowerment is the freedom to celebrate your body as an expression of your own strength. See, they're both arguing for empowerment, just coming at it from completely different directions.
At the end of the day, this was never really just about a dress, was it? It's like a perfect snapshot of a huge cultural conversation that's been going on for a long, long time. It echoes decades of debates over whether fashion is a tool to hold women back or a way for them to feel free. It makes us ask some tough questions about how women are allowed to express themselves and what power even looks like. And so that leaves us with this one big question to chew on. Who gets to define empowerment? Is it the person expressing it, or is it the society that's watching? There's no easy answer here, and it's definitely something we're thinking about.